Hi, fifth grade. We're going to get started with our music lesson today by having you think of any songs that you know that have hidden meanings. Today, we're going to sing and listen to music that has hidden and not so hidden meanings. We're going to listen to a familiar song called Pop Goes the Weasel. And I want you to listen to the words and try and think of what this song means.
All around the cobbler's bench, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey said 'twas all in fun. Up goes the weasel. A penny for a spool of thread, a penny for a needle. That's the way the money goes. Up goes the weasel. A half a pound of tuppenny rice, a half a pound of treacle. Mix it up and make it nice. Up goes the weasel. Up and down the London road, in and out of the eagle. That's the way the money goes. Up goes the weasel.
So this song has the lyrics of all around the cobbler's bench, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey said 'twas all in fun, pop goes the weasel. A penny for a spool of thread, a penny for a needle. That's the way the money goes, pop goes the weasel. A half a pound of tuppenny rice, a half a pound of treacle. Mix it up and make it nice, pop goes the weasel. Up and down the London road, in and out of the eagle. That's the way the money goes, pop goes the weasel. So I want you to take a minute, having heard it sung and said, think about what the meaning of these words are. The Old English song Pop Goes the Weasel is about a tailor who must pawn or sell his weasel, which is a pressing iron, in order to spend a penny for a spool of thread, a penny for a needle, just to stay in business. Now, what new problem would the tailor have if he sold his weasel, also known as a pressing iron? He wouldn't be able to iron his clothes, now would he? And his business is fixing clothes, and people want their clothes nice and pressed and ironed when they get them back, right? And that's something he wouldn't be able to do, but he, in order to fix the clothes, needs a needle and thread. So this song and other ring games have been popular in England since the 1600s. Some of its different versions were brought to America with the colonists. As American pioneers traveled west in the 1800s, the fiddle was a favorite item packed among clothing and eating utensils. Fiddle music was often at the center of social gatherings, and Pop Goes the Weasel was a favorite fiddling tune. Today in the United States, the song is considered a children's song, and the original meaning of the words has almost been forgotten. So I'm going to put the words up for you, and I want you to try to sing along because this song is pretty familiar for most of you. So you can look at the words and try to sing along as best you can.
All around the cobbler's bench, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey said 'twas all in fun. Pop goes the weasel. A penny for a spool of thread, a penny for a needle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel. A half a pound of tuppenny rice, a half a pound of treacle. Mix it up and make it nice. Pop goes the weasel. Up and down the London road, in and out of the eagle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel.
Good. Now, our next song is called My Government Claim. 200 200 years after the English sang about their money problems in Pop Goes the Weasel, pioneers on the plains of America were laughing at their daily hardships in the song My Government Claim. I want you to listen to these words and think about the not-so-hidden meanings behind these words, and as you listen, pat or tap to the beat.
It is built on the national soil. The walls are erected according to Hoyle. The roof has no pitch, it's level and plain. I always get wet when it happens to rain. My clothes they are ragged, my language is rough. My head is case hardened and solid and tough. But I have a good time and live on my ease. I'm carving some sorghum while bacon and cheese.
Now, this song moves kind of fast, and the words are kind of hard to understand because it moves fast. So I'm going to read them to you. Hurrah for Lane County, the land of the free, the home of the grasshopper, bedbug, and flea. I'll sing of her praises and boast of her fame, a starving to death on my government claim. My house it is built on the national soil, the walls are erected according to Hoyle. The roof has no pitch, it's level and plain, I always get wet when it happens to rain. My clothes, they are ragged, my language is rough, my head is case hardened, it's solid and tough. But I have a good time and live on my ease, on common sop sorghum and old bacon and cheese. So think about the words you just heard, and think about this not so hidden meaning behind this song. So think about, this was in the 1800s, people were moving out west, out onto the plains and prairies. Yeah, it wasn't very easy living on the prairie. There were a lot of hardships, but this singer is laughing about it. So this famous 19th century Kansas folk song speaks of the harsh conditions of the early settlers. There are many verses, a few of which are printed here, that we just listened to. The first homesteader to Lane County, Kansas, arrived in 1878. Since the county is located in an area with few trees, early settlers built their houses of sod instead of lumber. The phrase, according to Hoyle, means according to regulations. Edmund Hoyle was an English authority on games such as backgammon and chess. This expression originated with players who checked a game's rules according to Hoyle. Sorghum, when they say, I live on my ease on common sop sorghum, sorghum is a type of grain. Now, think of when I said that they had to build their houses out of sod instead of lumber. Think of if you've ever read Little House on the Prairie with Laura Ingalls Wilder, when they move to Minnesota because Kansas didn't work out. When they moved to Minnesota in a later book, they are living in a sod house at first. They called it the soddy. It's basically made of the sod, the grass. And so it's built into the ground. It stays cool in the summertime, and it's nice and warm in the winter because you can have a stove in there as long as there's the chimney. So it would keep them nice and warm. Let me see if I can find a picture of that for you. So here we can see a picture of a sod house. You see Laura is running on top of the sod house, and inside is her ma, who's doing the ironing. So this is kind of what a sod house would look like. This is an illustration. So we are going to try to learn to sing this song. We're going to take it slow. And some of you may have recognized the tune. It's the tune of the Irish Washerwoman. It's a very popular fiddle tune. Just like Pop Goes the Weasel became a popular fiddle tune as well. So, but before we learn to sing the song, I want you to think about how these two songs are similar and different. Both of these songs are about hard times, but Pop Goes the Weasel has a less obvious meaning. And My Government Claim is a little more obvious, and it complains in a more humorous way. So, it's meant to be funny. So let's get started with singing our song line by line. Hurrah for Lane County, the land of the free. The home of the grasshopper, bedbug, and flea. I'll sing of her praises and boast of her fame. A starving to death on my government claim. My house, it is built on the national soil. The walls are erected according to Hoyle. The roof has no pitch, it's level and plain. I always get wet when it happens to rain. My clothes are, they are ragged, my language is rough. My head is case hardened, it's solid and tough. But I have a good time and live on my ease. On common sop, sorghum, old bacon, and cheese. So we're going to put some parts together. Hurrah for Lane County, the land of the free, the home of the grasshopper, bedbug, and flea. I'll sing of her praises and boast of her fame, a starving to death on my government claim. My house, it is built on the national soil. The walls are erected according to Hoyle. The roof has no pitch, it's level and plain. I always get wet when it happens to rain. My clothes, they are ragged, my language is rough. My head is case hardened, it's solid and tough. But I have a good time and live on my ease. Excuse me. But I have a good time and live on my ease, on common sop, sorghum, old bacon, and cheese. Let's put the whole verses together. Sorry. Hurrah for Lane County, the land of the free, the home of the grasshopper, bedbug, and flea. I'll sing of her praises and boast of her fame, a starving to death on my government claim. My house, it is built on the national soil. The walls are erected according to Hoyle. The roof has no pitch, it's level and plain. I always get wet when it happens to rain. My clothes, they are ragged, my language is rough, my head is case hardened, it's solid and tough, but I have a good time and live on my ease, on common sop, sorghum, old bacon, and cheese. So let's see if we can sing along and pat or tap to the beat as you sing. I'm going to put the words up for you.
It is built on the national soil. The walls are erected according to Hoyle. The roof has no pitch, it's level and plain. I always get wet when it happens to rain. My clothes, they are ragged, my language is rough. My head is case hardened, it's solid and tough. But I have a good time and live on my ease. I'm common, some sorghum, old bacon and cheese.
Okay. Now, Pop Goes the Weasel and My Government Claim have more in common than just their hardships. We're going to look at these rhythm patterns of these two songs, the ones in the red boxes. The meter signature in the songs, if we look at them both, remember the meter signature is the beginning. So there's the beginnings of Pop Goes the Weasel and My Government Claim. Remember, a meter signature is going to be a number over a number. And in this case, it's 6/8 in both songs. That means that there are 6 beats in each measure. And that there... the 8th note gets the beat. But in the case of these two, it can be divided into 2 beats in each measure, and each beat is divided into 3 smaller beats. So, we kind of do a little division. We can break it up into 2 because there are 6 beats in each measure. We divide into 2, which then there are 2 groupings of 3 beats. So it look like this. So it makes it easier to pat like this instead of otherwise your arm's going to get tired. Or in the case of people in orchestra or band, their feet are going to get tired tapping to the beat. So, when 2 beats in the measure are divided into 3 parts, it is called compound duple meter. That means that 6/8 is a compound meter because it can be thought of in 2 different ways. 6/8 can be thought of as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 1, 2, which then makes it a duple meter because we broke it up into 2 parts. So below are 4 6/8 rhythm patterns. Which ones can you find in the songs? So if we clapped number 1, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Which one does number 1 sound like it belongs in Pop Goes the Weasel or My Government Claim? It should be in My Government Claim. Then number 2 goes 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 1, 2. That one should be in Pop Goes the Weasel. Yes. Number 3 goes 1 and 2 and 1. I'm sorry. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. So we have to clap 3 here. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. Right? So where does number 3 belong? Pop Goes the Weasel. How about 4? That's what 4 is. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. That one is not in the song, one of the songs. But, so we're going to keep practicing those. You can clap them, you can pat them. So I'm going to clap it, and you have to pat or clap it after me. Good. So what I want you to do during this week is try and come up with a 4-measure pattern where you can do it in 6/8. So I gave you some ideas of ones that you can do. You can do, that's a pattern you can do. You can do, okay? Try and fit it into 6/8 where you can go 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's 3 beats in those groupings of 2. Now, we are going to listen to a variation on the theme Pop Goes the Weasel. Pop Goes the Weasel has been transformed many times during the past 400 years. In 1938, Lucien Calais, a French-born American composer, wrote a set of orchestral variations based on this old song. The variations include various historical dances. The pop sound is made with different instruments, including pop gun and slide whistle. Now, we are going to listen for the beat and meter as you follow along on the listening map for variations on the theme, Pop Goes the Weasel. So try and see if any of these have a meter that you could do some of your rhythm patterns that you may have already come up with or the ones that we did already. And I am going to point along on our listening map as we listen. Okay. So, I hope you were thinking about if you could play some of your rhythm patterns with any of these variations. In some of the variations, you may have been able to, and others maybe not. Some of that depends on the meter that was in those variations, and I hope that you were paying close attention to what those were. So, I want you to think about throughout this week the ways that Pop Goes the Weasel was transformed in the variations. So, that is the end of our lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.